Dude, I'm closer to 100% than I've ever been. You know what I'm saying? I feel. Yeah, I'd have to say, it's probably going to be hard to say that I'm 100%. Most fighters probably actually don't walk into the ring at 100%. To be honest, you know what I mean? In the fight game, it's grueling. Sometimes even trying to be 100%, depending on losing your weight and certain things, by the time you end up in the ring, you still end up just a tad bit short, 95%. 95% is, it can feel like 100% to the opponents, Like Danny Garcia didn't know I had an elbow problem. This guy's talking about some ring rust and my mentality coming back. What about my mentality when I'm injured and I'm fighting? And I actually don't want to throw the punch because I'm about to hurt myself. What about that psychological battle? Where, so I fought my psyche like 1,000 times over. I've been through trials and tribulations. I've taken hits and not gone down. I've done everything in the sport, you know what I mean? So just getting back, I feel good. I feel excited, And, regardless of if I'm 100%, I wasn't 100% last time. We're still going to go in there and be champ. We're still going to be Keith Thurman.
Keith, how does it feel to overcome those struggles of injury and finally be 100% coming to this fight?
Oh, it feels good. That's why I mentioned like lifting weights and things of that nature. With bone spurs, I couldn't hit the heavy bag. With bone spurs, I couldn't do pull-ups. I couldn't do push-ups, So I feel a lot better. And my hand had me worried about my left hook. Now my hand's secure. I'm hitting the heavy bag. It feels good. We're not having problems. When we hit our sparring partners, there is no pain. I don't have to ice it down. So I'm more confident today than I was before.
Do you feel like the casual fans don't give you enough credit knowing that you beat 2 of the top 3 or 5 welterweights and Danny Garcia and Sean Porter? Do you think they forget that you're the only man?
I mean, I'm the only person that did it back to back, Like a lot of people aren't fighting fighters within the top 5 back to back, and just because I did it don't mean everybody needs to start doing it either, I did what I wanted to do. I did what I was comfortable doing, and I'm really grateful that I chose to do that, because if I would have took an in-between fight and I didn't fight Danny Garcia, I most likely would have came to the knowledge of my bone spurs, and I would have had to have surgery and thus never fighting a Danny Garcia. So for me, everything happens for a reason. It's almost like a blessing in disguise. And when we're out, but the record stays the same. Keith Thurman's still Keith Thurman. Nobody's touched him. Undefeated record. And the world wants to know what's going to happen when he comes back. That's why we're here. That's what 2019 is all about. Just stay tuned. Just watch your boy. I'm back in action.
Regardless of the outcome, the next fight that you have, would you like to be on pay-per-view like the other fighters like Spence and the Broners in the world that are being broadcast on pay-per-view? Is that what's next for you?
I'm not sure about those topics. If anything, the argument could have been, was Thurman Garcia a pay-per-view worthy fight? Should that have been pay-per-view? What kind of money could I have made? Blah blah blah. That's all in the past. Fuck that. So we just keep moving forward in life, man. And January 26th. And we got to see how boxing evolves. There's so much happening in the sport of boxing today. A lot of new things are developing, man. So another thing, too, is what's the details about the Mikey Garcia Spence fight? Yeah, it's pay-per-view, but what kind of pay-per-view? People aren't used to Fox pay-per-view.
Of course.
Is this a $25 pay-per-view? Is this a $50 pay-per-view? Is this another $80 pay-per-view? What kind of pay-per-view is it? How many buys do they get? People, we know Spence is a champ. We know Mikey's a champ. We know they both have a following. How many people are really going to come out of pocket for the fight? I think it's a tremendous fight. I think it's worth whatever they charge, But that's me. That's not everybody, and not everybody has in their pocket what I got in my pocket. So it's up for debate whether or not they want to do it. Go watch at a wing house. Go sit on a buddy's couch who can't help but not to buy it, you know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. That's why my philosophy in this sport and how I got to the top is just one step at a time. We keep moving forward. But whomever I fight, whenever I fight them, you know what I mean? I'm just going to be very methodical. I'm going to be stronger, faster, and smarter, baby.
You said you're the number one heavyweight. Who would you say would be the other two to complete the top three, like behind you?
Number one heavyweight, I hope
I mean,
What's the weight on, Keith?
I hope not. I'll take a heavyweight paycheck, but I don't
Wilder's next, huh?
Then I will be run time, boy. It will be sprint time.
who's your top three behind you at welterweight? My bad.
I mean, Errol Spence and everything else. Keith Thurman number one, Errol Spence number two, and everything else is debatable, man. I've said it many times. I don't give Bud Crawford any credit at 147 yet. He hasn't gotten any credentials off of me. I made the statement that the boy hasn't even fought an Amir Khan, and all of a sudden they're acting like they want to fight Amir Khan. I mean, that's a fight years ago on Amir's side, he was a 140 pounder. So at the end of the day, but I still like that fight for Crawford. When it comes to competing in the welterweight division, he's done nothing. I mean, there's, because I was saying, what's the Horn? I was saying that I think Amir Khan would beat Jeff Horn. So at the end of the day, I just let him beat Amir Khan. Let him beat somebody else. I don't know. I just don't believe in the number three. So because a lot of people are gonna want to put Bud there, but then my thing is, it ain't like he beat Sean Porter. Sean Porter actually might be number three. I always said Sean Porter is ultimately like top five. He's never. I don't think he's gonna leave the top five. It's gonna be really hard unless if we get proven wrong with Ugas. Ugas can slide in. You know what I'm saying, with a victory over Sean. So that's why I don't really care, man. And I really don't care if you consider me number 1, 2, 3, or anything, man. At the end of the day, you can't put me lower than 3. What are you gonna do? Put 2 names above me, and you're gonna have some of your peers looking at you sideways, anyways? Like, I don't care, man. All that I care about is training, staying healthy, getting back in the ring, getting back on TV. Fox, this thing with Fox is a big thing. We're gonna have a lot of eyes, a lot of viewers, and just being the undefeated champion of the world, man, and just providing exciting fights for the sport of boxing. Not only am I good at my job, but I think I'm one of the best and most entertaining fighters in the sport of boxing today. You got 12 different weight classes, but there's not that many people that really stand out, and that's all that I'm trying to do in this division is stand out. I'm not afraid to let it go. If you beat me, then we're gonna know Keith Thurman's not number 1. Now he actually is number 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, even if I was number 3, if let's just say Terence Crawford and Errol Spence beat Keith Thurman, number 3, I still have an opportunity to have a beautiful career. See, that's what you guys really don't understand. When you have blood, sweat, and tears, and you worked as hard as I worked to do what I do, you just want to be in the ring. You just want to be a part of the action. Look at the beautiful career Adrian Broner's had. He's had a beautiful career, and he's not the best fighter in the world. So I'm here with my career. You are witnessing my career. I just don't want to be the average fighter. I want to be legendary, and that's what we're trying to do.
Keith, when you talk about legendary, you mentioned about Manny Pacquiao. Is that going to be one of, like, let's say, and I don't want to say regret, but one of the letdowns if you never get that fight, knowing that he's still in the game and also with
not having Floyd, not having Manny, they're both letdowns to a degree. I mean, I rose to the top of the welterweight division pretty quick, and yet I didn't get a piece of that action, and I really wanted a piece of that action, and I probably was premature at that time, and who knows what had happened with that action, but at least I wanted a piece. And so if I can get a piece before Manny gets away, I'm gonna thank God for that, you know what I mean? Because he's a legend. He has a big fan base. It'd be good for my brand notoriety and just another notch on the belt, ex multiple champion Manny Pacquiao. But at the end of the day, we're just here doing our best, man, trying to reunify, like I said, separate myself from my competition, and then just add to the collection.
How big is
you and AAB will make some for some good press conferences?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I'm not. See, that's funny, man. Like, I'm not that interested But if he starts running his mouth and seeing,
He will,
depending
though.
on what happens,
He will, though.
The real talk is once when I'm back, yes, I want my belt. Every other fight is negotiable, man. It's negotiable. We can negotiate. Who wants to negotiate?
In terms of pound for pound status, Mikey Garcia was another fighter who was on the shelf for a while. He said he needed that time off to reflect and actually get back into loving boxing again. Does that process flow through your mind that you can take the same Mikey Garcia route and jump right back in? And did you need that time off?
No, I didn't need that time off. I needed that time off because I was injured. You know what I mean? There's a big difference.
Yeah.
I don't know what made him have his time off. You know what I mean? But my time off was physical. If I was physically prepared, I would not have enjoyed being inactive for that long. I mean, fighting once in a year and then fighting around the next year, that's enough freaking time in itself. You know what I mean? 22 months, that's way too long. If I had options, we didn't have options. So now we're getting back into the ring.
Do you think you'll knock Jose out? Personally, like looking
I mean,
your gut feeling?
at the end of the day, the statistics say he doesn't go past the 6 with a puncher, right? Madonna, Berto, Canelo got him out in 5. If I want to outshow everybody, I got to do it in 4, or less, But I love his confidence coming into this fight, and he's been through a lot in the sport of boxing. So you got to ask, he knows exactly what it's like to fight punchers and to fight champions of this caliber. Where's that confidence come from? He keeps saying the new trainer, what they're doing, how hard he's prepared for this fight. I think 15 years of being a pro, he feels like a bottle of wine that he's finally. This is the time you're supposed to open up the bottle. This is the time for Jose Cito Lopez to become champion. I'm going to see what kind of Jose Cito Lopez, what kind of opponent I have on the 26th. But, I want to reestablish my skill set, and I want to reestablish some of my power. And I might even have to stop moving. It looks nice. I just love watching them miss. I just love watching them miss. You know what I'm saying? But I might have to take a few to land a few just to get the show over early. We'll see. I mean, and this is one of those kind of fights that can be that kind of fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
So you are putting it in your mind that you want to get him out of there by 4 to blow everyone else out what they've done before.
You got into my mind. You said, you supposed to knock him out? Well, if I knock him out, the bookies are going to bet that it's by the 6th round because that's normally how it goes. And in the sport of boxing, we have a saying, everybody's strong for the first 4 rounds, okay? This is 12-round championship fighting, So everybody's strong for the first 4 rounds. So anytime a fighter stops another fighter within those first 4 rounds, that is making a big statement, because he didn't have time to die out. That man is still as strong as he was practically in the first round, in the 4th round. So, that's just my mind, how my mind analyzes that question, because we've already gone over it as a team. We want to make a statement. We'd like to get the knockout. Canelo did it to the body. Berto did it on the chin. How's Thurman going to do it? Where's he going to do it? What round am I going to do it? Does he even do it? So it just is what it is, man.
Keith, every time you break down a fight, it's usually correct, your predictions. Mikey's mentioned that he's taking the Errol Spence fight because he sees some flaws in him. That's why he took the fight. Mm-hmm. If I was to ask you, what are those flaws that he sees in Errol Spence, knowing that you're a fighter?
Well, in football, I'm from, Tampa Bay. So we roll with the Buccaneers, And they ain't do nothing but that one year, boy, everybody was happy, But back in the day when I was watching the Bucs, we had Mike Allstott. And we used to always say, on 4th and 1, Mike Allstott is getting the ball. Doesn't mean you can stop him from getting that yard, man. You just because you know what's going to happen doesn't mean that you can do anything about it. Just because there's holes inside Swiss cheese doesn't mean that you can fill it, okay? So that's just the reality, man. And there's no such thing as a perfect fighter. Why do you think I got so many haters and this and that? Oh, Thurman this, Thurman that. Floyd had haters. Oh, Floyd does this, Floyd does that. Cool. Get in there and do something about it. do something about it. Mikey is the smaller guy. You know, he does have a respectable punch. I think it still can be a respectable punch at 147 because a punch is a punch is a punch. You know, if you got that punch, you got that punch. You normally can carry it up into weight, but it's more, is he going to land that punch? He didn't drop Adrian Broner. And Adrian Broner's not the biggest dude, and Adrian Broner's not the slickest and doesn't have the best defense, but he does keep his hands up pretty nice, you know. And I just don't like Mikey's competition prior to an Errol Spence. You know, it's not, you know, fighting those guys in lower weight classes and then jumping to the upper echelon of the welterweight division. I'd rather see Garcia versus Garcia, man. But he's been very adamant about this, and he's getting what he asked for. And we're gonna see if he can live up to his word. You know, I told everybody, you know, he must have a magic trick up his sleeve, Penn and Teller fool us, because I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced, man.
Okay.